the 49ers, I think, could play. So let's say, assuming that they get the 3rd or 2nd seed, they'll have the Commanders, either the Commanders, Giants, Seattle, or Detroit are looking like the 4 teams that are still in it right now and will most likely or are battling it out for those 2 spots. So let's start with the Commanders. And we'll go from least, actually rank these teams from hardest, like worst to greatest, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Commanders, Giants, Seattle, and then Detroit. I'm going to start real quickly ranking them. I would say I would go Seattle easiest, Giants next, Detroit, and then the hardest. No, actually Commanders below Detroit, and then the hardest team, I think, Detroit. What do you rank these teams and break them down a little bit?
I think we're pretty close. I would have to say New York is going to start on the bottom of the ladder, and then I would go Seattle, and then I would go Commanders and Detroit. I think the Lions have an ability to put up a lot of points. So if they won't put up a lot of points on us, but if our offense sputters a little bit throughout that day for whatever reason, our undrafted rookie quarterback or damn near undrafted rookie quarterback, if that happens, then or injury, whatever the case is, then maybe we could have to put up 23 on them or something like that, and maybe struggle doing so. Washington, if they're I would just say that they have a really good defensive line that could also possibly stifle our offense. And if we make our bonehead plays that we can make on defense at times, which means busted coverages. I'm talking to you, Talanoa. Busted coverages. Talanoa, Hufanga's specialty outside of excellent play at the line. And then they get a couple plays over the top. Maybe we struggle in that game. And then, of course, we have a division game in Seattle, our house of horrors, although they have to come to us, but we hate them, as Fred Warner said. And then lastly, Danny Dimes will be throwing nickels all day long. So I don't really worry about them too much.
I don't honestly know how the Giants are even in this. I think, Saquon Barkley, I think he's healthy. It really depends on the health of Saquon Barkley. But even then, I don't have any trust, like you said, in Daniel Jones at all delivering. I just don't think that's going to happen. No. And so but I mean, the one thing that intrigues me is the Lions, because that team is a team that doesn't have a very good defense, but has a really good offense that I think statistically, could match up pretty well with the 49ers. But their defense, I mean, you watch that Vikings game, and the Vikings are supposed to be this amazing offense and whatever. And it's just, it's funny because the Vikings literally, and we'll get into this later, but getting crushed at halftime against the Colts, and then lost to the Lions last week. And I just think against the Vikings, the Lions came up with a few stops. And so their defense is improving. You can see that. And I mean, it's impressive. So, they're a team that is getting hot at the right time. Their offense is really good, and their defense is starting to improve and starting to get stops. So I think that is a very dangerous team. And I mean, as for the Washington Commanders, Brian Robinson, the guy who got shot, great story. The last 2 games, averaging over 4.5 yards per carry. You watch him; he's a very explosive back. They have Taylor Heineke.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, they have Tyler Heineke, who, I mean, he's not an elite quarterback, but he plays with grit. He's tough. And
Brock Purdy?
I think, exactly. He's about, I would compare him a little bit to Brock Purdy, maybe just a better deep ball.